Well, Chloe Cole's parents were pressured by doctors to medically change her gender when she was just 13 years old. Now she describes herself as a detransitioner. Chloe testified at yesterday's House Judiciary hearing about her own physical and mental irreversible damage. Here's what she said.
The gender specialist I was taken to see told my parents that I needed to be put on puberty-blocking drugs right away. They asked my parents a simple question: would you rather have a dead daughter or a living transgender son? A month later, when I was 13, I had my first testosterone injection. It's caused permanent changes to my body. My voice will forever be deeper, my jawline sharper, my nose longer, my bone structure permanently masculinized, my Adam's apple more prominent, my fertility unknown. I look in the mirror sometimes and I feel like a monster.
That is so heartbreaking.
Yeah, it really is.
She was
so courageous. Yeah.
Joining us right now to discuss social media personality and author of Gender Madness, Ali London, and Jennifer Bauwens, director of the Center for Family Studies at the Family Research Council. Jennifer, here's the quandary that I see in these discussions, is they always scare you that if you don't let these kids transition, they're going to commit suicide. Because they're going through all this. Yet then we hear stories like that, the heartbreaking story where she became suicidal after she was kind of pushed into these transgender surgeries. And so what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I'll just address the whole suicide issue. There really isn't any literature that says that there's a causal link between a child who's having gender dysphoria and if they don't receive hormones, let me rephrase that the hormones actually prevent suicide. There's no such literature out there that we can draw that conclusion. And the second thing I'd like to say is, we're hearing Chloe speak, and clearly this young woman has a lot of terrible repercussions from these procedures that she's having to live with for the rest of her life.
Right.
And what was disheartening in that hearing was to hear some of the, unfortunately, it is partisan. A lot of the Democrats were basically saying that if we want to talk about the science supporting this issue, that we're just using right-wing talking points. And here we have a young woman who's sharing her testimony of what she's been through, and almost as if her story has been completely ignored, and the only people who have a right to visibility are those who go along with their doctrine.
Right. Ali, I mean, you were very vocal about this topic because it is very near and dear to you. It is something that you deal with regularly, and you have made really helped, I think, a lot of people realize why transitioning is not a good idea. What do you have to say about that to anyone who's listening who might be thinking about that?
Well, I think what Chloe shared yesterday was truly heart-wrenching. The fact that she described herself as a monster because of what these doctors did to her. This was medical negligence and abuse. And I know Chloe and Layla Jane, another detransitioner, are suing the Kaiser Permanente Hospital. And I think Chloe spoke up for thousands of teens that have detransitioned or have been through these surgeries and have realized that they were coerced into this. And she really shared a heartbreaking plea with these lawmakers to listen to detransitioners, because this is not a bipartisan issue. It certainly should be. Protecting children, protecting their innocence should be something that, Democrats and Republicans can agree on. But, what Chloe's been through, they like to say it's a right-wing talking point. But this is a girl that had her breast cut off at 15. This is not some conspiracy theory. This is real life.
Yeah, and if you wanted to do that, wait until you're 21. If you wanted to do that, somehow it seems, Jennifer, that we need to deal with the psychological problem without changing their bodies permanently for the rest of their lives. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time, but your final thought.
Yeah, and that holds true for adults too. Adults are also in pain who are going through these
Yeah.
procedures, but at least they have the capacity to make
To,
a decision.
yes.
Let's not
Exactly.
impose
The
that on a
maturity,
child.
the mental
That's right.
maturity, psychological, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Jennifer Bauwens, Ollie London. I wish we had more time with this. Would love to hear more of your thoughts, but we really appreciate you for being with us. Thank you.